vlog, we will talk you through on how to apply for British citizenship. So I will talk you through on how to apply online. So once you receive the confirmation, then you say yes. You need to upload documents. So there will be like different tabs in there. So different categories. So the first. Hi Beshies! Welcome back to our channel. I am Jazel.
My name is Faye.
And for today's vlog, we will talk you through on how to apply for British citizenship. So disclaimer lang po, this video is intended for all candidates or eligible candidates who already have an indefinite leave to remain, so ILR, for at least 1 year.
Yeah, we did our application last year, which was 2022. So, yeah.
So we can only answer questions related based doon sa experience namin. Okay? So basically what happened was we were able to work here in the UK as a tier 2, using a tier 2 visa. And then we had to renew that after 3 years ba? Friendship.
Yeah, 2016.
So we had to renew it at tier 2 again. And then after another 2 years, we had to apply for indefinite leave to remain. So you can only apply for an indefinite leave to remain when you have already stayed in the UK for 5 years. And then once you get your indefinite leave to remain, after 1 year, you can already apply for a British citizenship. So that's what we're going to be talking about for today's vlog. We'll talk you through on how to apply online. So basically, there's a long way to do it. So I'll talk you through. So we'll also put a screenshot on how, like, where the links are, so it will be easier for you. Or we'll just put the link in the description box below on the application itself. Okay? So first of all, you have to go through gov.uk. And then you will see an option there saying citizenship and living in the UK. So you click that link. And then it will take you, you will see a British citizenship link again. So click that one. So marami pong links ito mga kapatid. So just bear with us. And then there is an option there to say that check if you can become a British citizen. So click that link again. And then may makikita kayo, apply for citizenship with ILR. So that was our case. May ILR na kami for 1 year. So that's why we're eligible to apply for a British citizenship or naturalization with ILR. And then you have to scroll down and then you will find there how to apply. So click that link. So makikita nyo naman yung mga links. It's easy to spot them because they have like underline like under the word. Link. So it's like a hyperlink. And then when you click how to apply, it will show you fill in the form online. So you have to scroll down and then you'll find fill in the form online. So click that one. And then finally, when it takes you to another window, scroll down again until the end, and then there's gonna be a green button that will say apply now. So that's when you start your application. So I'll go through with you ano ba yung mga tinatanong dun sa application form. So basically, applying for a British citizenship online is quite easy. It's quite straightforward, but I think it's more of like you have to know how to answer the questions. So I'll go through with that with you now. So basically, it will just ask you your personal questions. It will just ask you your basic like email address, your details, demographic details, which is your address, your telephone number. So that's quite straightforward. So ma-answer nyo naman agad yun.
And then also, one thing,
ano?
you know the full name. So we included our middle name.
Yeah, so basically, ito pala.
Being Filipino.
Yeah, so dahil being Filipinos, di ba sa passport natin, iba yung first name, iba ang middle name, and iba ang last name. But here in the UK, their first name is your first name and your middle name. So in our case, yun nga, so basically yung first and middle name nyo, yun ang first name dito sa UK. Nagigets nyo ba? So, your given name, kasi it will ask you what is your given name. Your given name, you should put your first name and middle name. So
para
iba kasi
para mag-match siya dun sa passport mo, Filipino passport.
Yeah. So kasi binibase nila dun sa passport natin. So yun, para ano lang po, tip lang po sa mga mag-a-apply na Filipinos. Yun, kailangan po ilagay nyo ang first name and middle name dun sa given name na option. Okay? Kasi dito sa UK ganun sila eh. Yung middle name nila is actually not their mother's maiden name. It's actually their name as well. So, parang second name. So, say for example, kung Maria Fe should have been her middle name. But it's not in the Philippines. So, yun po. Take note po mga kapatid, mga beshi. And then, so basically, it will ask you as well, where do you want to have your citizenship ceremony if you are, if they approve your application. So in our case, because we're based here in London, we selected Westminster as our citizenship ceremony. And then it will also ask you again your Life in the UK test unique reference number. So you should have that with you. So I'm sure naman you have saved this from before because sa ILR tinanong din to. So they will ask that question again. So just bear that in mind. What else? Let me just scroll through. So they will ask you about your passport details, your country of nationality, so and so. And then it will also ask you your current address. So you should also take note of like all the addresses that where you live for the past 6 years in the UK. So itatanong nila lahat yan, the dates where you started living in that address, the date where you left that address. So kung palipat-lipat kayo within the last 6 years, medyo madugong proseso lang siya, like her. So ilang beses ka lumipat, friend? 3 beses ba? 3, no?
3?
So, 3 times siyang lumipat. So, lahat ng address niya from her previous residences, kailangan niyang
Actually, 4.
4 ba?
Including the London.
Yeah. So yun. So, you just have to remember. So, in my case, I was lucky kasi isa lang ang accommodation ko ever since before. So, madali lang yung application ko. Isang address lang ang nilagay ko. And then, it will also ask you your national insurance number. So, you should also know that anyway. And then, it will also ask your parents' details. So, they will just ask their date of birth, town of birth, and what else? I think that's it. Yeah, date of birth. Sinabi ko na, diba? And then, it will also, the application will also ask you if you have trips outside the UK. So, if you applied for your ILR, then you already know the details of your trips outside the UK. Kasi same lang.
Hours, yeah.
So, same lang to na process again. So, you just have to enumerate one by one kung saan kayong bansa nagpunta, reason for your trip, departure date, return date, and full days na absent kayo here in the UK. So, they will ask the same question. So, you should have that information ready as well para madali nyo na lang siyang ma-fill up yung application nyo. Kasi yun yung madugo talaga yung iisipin mo pa, oh, saan ko nga ba to sinave or ano na nga ba yung mga dates na yun. So, don't forget, they will still need that information. And then, some other questions are quite straightforward, like regarding war or terrorism. So basically, it's just a straightforward question. Siyempre, ang sagot doon ay no. Kung di ka naman
unless
involved ka, then yes, di ba? And then what else? And then they will ask you for 2 referees to prove na they've known you for the last 3 years. So the referees, I will show you the details. Just bear with me. So basically, the referee must have known you, the applicant, for at least 3 years. They should have a British passport or like they're British passport holders and either a professional person or aged over 25. So that is that. And then they will also ask your employment details. So very straightforward. Ano pa ba? They will also ask their tax reference number. So you will see that in your payslips or your P60. And then, what else? So some of them like conviction and other penalties. So, madali na lang yung fill upan. And then, immigration details. So ito yung medyo madugong part, but I think it's really important for you to fill this out properly. So basically, they will ask you your previous reference numbers for all of the applications that you've made through the Home Office. So in our case, we did 3 applications. So the first one was when we first arrived here in the UK, which is the Tier 2 visa. So there will be they will ask you for the entry clearance number. So you must know that it will show on your entry clearance dun sa passport nyo nung tinatakan nila. Second reference number was when we renewed our Tier 2 visa. So, hopefully, naitago nyo pa yung mga letters na galing Home Office when they've sent you the BRP. Is it the BRP?
There should be an email as well. You can find it on your email.
So, there's always a reference number there. And then third is when we applied for our ILR. So there's another reference number for that. So importante talaga na these documents i-save nyo lahat yung details nila because it is important when you fill out your application form. It will make your life easier. So ngayon pa lang, kung malapit na kayo mag-apply for British citizenship, hanapin nyo na yung mga old letters
mo. Hanapin mo na yung ilista mo na agad.
Ilista mo na agad para alam mo na kung saan mo isi. Or like make a folder where you put everything related to like immigration or applications here in the UK kasi mas mapapadali talaga yung buhay nyo. So yeah, they will ask you for the reference number. Importante to because I think they will just access that reference number and then they will see they will be able to see all the documents that you've submitted before. So alam nila na legit talaga yung application mo.
Yeah, I think it will just make the process quicker as well.
Yeah, because you already have a reference number, then they will be able to see your previous application, and then it will prove that you are eligible and you are qualified to apply for British citizenship.
But so if you can't remember it though, it's just an optional thing. If you can't remember the what do you call that? Reference.
Yeah, if you can't recall the reference number, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But I think in our case, it really helped us to speed up the process because they already have a number which they can refer to, like your old documents, so they can see everything there.
Because on the application form, it says there naman na if you remember, it doesn't, pero it will help.
Yeah, it will help. So it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory, but it will be really helpful if you have this information. Kasi optional naman siya, pero I think para mas mapabilis talaga, tsaka para talaga you can prove na legit yung application nyo. It would be handy if you have a reference number. It's not the end of the world kung di nyo alam, pero makakatulong talaga siya. Okay? And then moving on, so this is one of the most important parts as well. So there will be a question about the English language. So I will ask you, do you have a degree that was taught in English? We answered no. Because if you answer yes, they will ask you to provide a certificate basically to say that the degree was taught in English. And I don't think we have that kind of certificate, right? Like we do have like IELTS, but that's a different thing. So anyway, we answered no, and both of us naman.
Yeah, not just two of us, like our other friends
as well.
Yeah.
They answered the same question with the same answer.
Because if you answered no, they will ask you to provide the
IELTS certificate. So yeah. So anyway, so if you answer no, they will ask you have you passed an approved English language test? And this is where your IELTS certificate will come in.
I think the others will be OET, no?
Yeah, so in our case, it was IELTS. So maybe for others who took OET, then it might be the OET certificate. I don't know what it's called.
But in our experience, it's IELTS.
So it's IELTS. Tell us the previous visa, entry clearance, or leave to remain that you had. So in this case, we just put our entry clearance. So this is when the first time we arrived in the UK. So that was way back in 2016. So we have an entry clearance. Dun sa passport nyo, may number dun, na entry clearance number. So that's what we have put in our application. Okay? So some people might have put their leave to remain like number, but in our case, it was the entry clearance. And then it will also ask you your BRP number. So that's quite straightforward. And then at the end of the application, it will enumerate the requirements that they need for your British citizenship application. So Faye will go through with that. Next one is you have to pay. The most important bit. The payment. Tumataging team.
Budget.
In our case, we had to pay £1,330 for this application, which is a standard service. So, and that's not, it's not cheap, isn't it? It's very expensive. It is cheaper than the ILR application, definitely, but it still costs a lot of money. Yeah, it's still expensive. So,
naghirapan mo yung dash.
So yun, so parang, oh my gosh, di ba? Parang hindi yun, so, hindi siya ganun
so, kailangan sagutan mo ng maayos.
Kitain. So,
sagutan mo ng maayos.
That's why. So, that's the end of the online application. So, basically, you will have to go through all those questions. You can save your question, you can save your application and go back to it like in a different day.
You
or
don't
time.
need to fill it out.
You don't need to fill it
In
out
one day.
naman like in one day. So, pwede mo naman siyang balik-balikan. Hanggat hindi ka pa nakakabayad, hindi pa naman mapaprocess yung application. So, yeah, you can always go back to your application whenever you want. So, it doesn't necessarily mean na pag, na-start ko na to, kailangan tapusin mo na the same day. So, in our case, I think, meron kaming siguro twice or thrice kaming bumalik-balik kasi
Yeah, because you need to ask for the referees.
your referees, yeah. Siyempre, hindi kayo mag-go through kung hindi ka pa tapos dun sa referees mo. So, and in our case, we did the application together. So, like, we are FaceTiming each other para alam namin na tama ba yung sagot mo. Did we FaceTime?
Flat.
Oh, was I? Oh,
Yeah.
yun. So, yun, nagpunta ako sa flat nila. Tapos sabay kaming nag-apply kasi para lang sure, di ba?
Alam mo yung thought na parang kahit basic questions na siya na name,
Oo,
ganun.
parang ano lang.
Ano sinagot mo niya?
Parang may comfort ka na, parang ay may karamay ako dito. So kung yung sagot niya, same na
Ganito,
sagot ko, parang kampante na rin ako.
Iba yung name nyo, di ba? Baka kopyahin mo din yung name.
Oo, so yun. So ginawa namin yun. So yun ang end ng online application. So the last step talaga would be the payment. So once you pay, then that's the time that they're gonna process your application. So, but like I said, kung hindi pa kayo ready magbayad, pwede nyo namang balik-balikan yung online account nyo. They will send you a link anyway, and it will say to you na log into your account. So, yeah, kung halimbawa, parang yung ibang information, kailangan nyo pang hanapin, kung saan yung, pwede nyo naman balik-balikan. And then, the application processing time is, sorry, nawala ako dun. For the standard service, it says that the duration or the decision would be released within 6 months. So, that is the standard service, okay? So, it can be anywhere between 1 month, 2 months. So, within 6 months. So, hanggat hindi pa lumalampas dun yung time ng application mo, then wala kang karapatang mag-follow up. Kasi nga, sasabihin nila talaga that's the standard time frame, within 6 months. So, wag kayong makulit na, oh my gosh, wala pa yung decision ko after 1 month. Wala, ganun talaga, ganun siya katagal. So, in my case, my application was so we applied the 21st of April, 2022. I only received the email to say na na-approving application ko was 1st of August. So, it took me 14 weeks for my application to be approved. How about you, Fe? Gano'ng katagal yung sa'yo?
Mine, I got my decision 20th of June. So, that would be like around 7 weeks.
So, imagine, di ba? Sabay kami nag-apply.
Yeah.
We applied at the same time. We submitted at the same time. And yet, the decision time was like
very
different for both of us. So, mas matagal yung sa akin. Sabi ko nga baka alphabetical. Kasi ang aking last name ay letter Z at siya ay letter E. So, sabi ko, alphabetical ba to? So, yeah. Anyway, we don't know bakit ganon. But, like I said, the decision is within 6 months. So, wala ka talagang karapatang magreklamo kung bakit nas nauna siya. Kasi, technically, my application is still, within that time frame. So, I just don't know how they process citizenship application because it always happens, it always happens na talagang may mauuna, hindi kayo talaga sabay. So who knows how they process everything. So, anyway, so after that, then, Fe will discuss the next part of your application. After you've submitted your application and after you've done the payment, you will receive an email from FES Appointment, which is a partner of UK Visas and Immigration, telling you what the next steps will be for your application. So, Fe will discuss that.
Yeah.
Yes, paano ba, Beshi?
So, mag-email sila sa'yo, tapos sabihin nila, you book an appointment for UK VCAS service point, but you can't actually book it until they'll email you. Because there's nung panahon natin, parang nag-start sila for the app, na pwede na yung sa app, hindi mo na kailangan ng face-to-face na appointment.
Yes.
So, you will receive another email from FES Appointment. So, they will say that, where is it? So, they will assess whether your application can be progressed via the Identity Verification app. So, that's the IDV app. So, and they're gonna email you again to say that if they can confirm that you can use that app. So, where is it? So that app is called UKVCASIDV. From that email, there will be a link to where to download that one.
So basically, you have to wait for the email. So wag kayo pong atat, wag po kayong excited.
Para kami lang.
Kasi
Excited
in our case, because we thought that we would still have to do face-to-face appointment, because when we applied for our ILR, we had to book an appointment through UK,
yeah, there's another...
UKVCAS din ata yun.
Yeah.
Basta it's an online, you have to go online and then you have to select a date and you have to select where to go. So during our time, we had to go to Croydon because that's the only available parang visa center.
But that was pandemic time.
Oo, pandemic pa yun. So we thought it would be the same. But I actually, in this application, it's so much easier because you don't have to do a face-to-face appointment. You just have to literally upload all your documents online and then yun na yun. So it would be easier. It's free. So yun ang importante because before we had to pay
the
appointment fee. So
and there's like additional services as well for the scanning.
Yeah. So it's much convenient and actually you just have to scan all your documents and that's it. So what will be the next step?
So going back, so there will be an email that they will confirm to you na pwede mo nga talagang gamitin yung app to upload your documents na kailangan nila.
So I think most applications, you are eligible to use the app, but you have to wait for the email to confirm that you're eligible to use the app. Yeah. So they will let you know, don't worry, they will let you know if you're allowed to use the app or not. So you have to wait. So I think it took us like what? We applied the 21st of April and we received the email around like...
I think within like 7 days. I think
within 7 days. So we received the email...
So we applied 21st and then we received a confirmation 26th of April.
Yeah. So you really have to wait. Hindi overnight na may email agad. So
kasi naalala ko
patience.
Nagtatry tayo mag-book pero wala talagang lumalabas na appointment.
We tried booking. Wala talagang appointment like all the dates like
kahit malayo sa London.
So lahat ng location talaga, walang appointment. So, I think that's why we cannot we cannot book any appointments online kasi nga, ina-assess pa nila. And they're actually, I think most of the applications are online. Kaya,
which is very accessible.
Yeah, you have to be patient, guys.
So anyway, going back. So the document checklist.
So once you've downloaded the app, then it will take you to a...
So once you receive an email confirmation from the VCAS, so you need to upload the documents on the app. So basically, you will need your passport issued by the Philippines, or whichever country that you came from, and then you need your IELTS certificate. So that would be the UKVI, and then the proof of living in the UK for like 5 years, 6 years. So that would be the P60. Kasi every year meron kang P60. So that would be like enough proof na you are living in UK for like 5 years or so. And then the proof of freedom from immigration time restrictions, and then you will need the current biometric residence permit. So that basically covers that. So yung immigration time restrictions as well. And then lastly, yung 2 referee declarations. So that was discussed by Jaisal a while ago. So once you managed to access the app, so there will be like different tabs in there, so different categories. So the first one will be the educational. So we uploaded the UKVI certificate. The next one will be the proof of identity. So that will be your passport. So in my case, that was my old passport and my new passport, because my old passport, dandun yung entry clearance ko nung dumating ako dito sa UK. And in your case,
same with me kasi I had to renew my passport within my 6 years of stay here in the UK. So in-upload ko din yung old passport ko, which contains the entry clearance from when we first arrived here in the UK. And take note, in-scan namin every page that contains any stamps or whatever. So yung mga blank pages, we left it, I think.
Yeah.
So basically, when you scan your passport, it's not just the first page and the last page. It's should be every page kung saan may tatak, whatever is in your passport na may whatever
basta
na may tatak.
May laman.
Basta kung anong manong may laman sa passport nyo, you have to scan everything. Just to make sure, di ba? Just to be sure. Kasi, paano nga naman nila malalaman na may entry clearance ka if you don't scan that page, di ba? So, just take note of that for when you upload your passport documents.
And the finances, so that's the next category. So, we uploaded the P60 because every year, meron kang P60 na re-release. So that's enough proof na nakatira ka na sa UK for like more than 5 years. And then, residence in the UK. So basically, your BRP. And then, the last category will be the others. So that's where we uploaded the references, yung referees, the document that they've signed. So basically, you just need to scan it. And then there's another one. Do you know the disclaimer thing or the
disclaimer? So dito ko na paranoid.
Disclaimer ba ang tawag
It's like
doon?
a consent form.
Yeah, the consent
for
form.
them to access your information. So basically, dito ako na paranoid kasi
Actually, ako hindi na paranoid.
when you
realize.
Yeah. when you're done with your application online on gov.uk, meron sila kasing links doon na you can download your application, you can also download the checklist that you need, and then there's also like consent form for information. So that one is just basically to say that you are consenting for them to access your information. So naparanoid ako kasi akala ko required siya online talaga na to submit as well. But there's no harm in submitting it. So in my case, I forgot to submit it. I got paranoid. Did you not?
No.
But one of our friends, he submitted it. And actually, lahat naman kami na-approve yung application. So I got paranoid because I thought that you should send it as well.
Because in ILR,
when we've done our ILR application, we had to sign a consent. So basically, you just have to sign the form, and then you just have to scan it, and then you have to upload it. So there's no harm on uploading it actually, just to be safe on the safe side. So talaga na parang daw kasi I really thought na mare-reject yung application ko because I didn't upload that one. So you can upload it on the others tab as well. Para sure. So, but like I said, we didn't submit ours, but actually it was approved as well. And I've asked someone as well, hindi rin siya nag-submit nun at na-approve din yung sa kanya. But like I said, para safe tayo, you can just upload it. Kasi nakasama din naman yung sa checklist eh. We just forgot it. Because actually, when you check the documents that is required for you to submit, wala naman talaga yun.
Like the mandatory ones.
Mandatory. Kasi sa ILR, alam ko, kasama
mandatory
yun, diba? Mandatory siya. Pero sa British Citizenship application namin, hindi siya kasama. So
hindi
actually,
ko alam kung ba't niya naisip yun.
Oo, naisip ko lang yun kasi chinek ko lang ulit yung website and I just realized, oh my gosh, I forgot to print the checklist, the consent. So, yun. So, naparanoid ako. Pero, at the end, okay naman lahat. Na-approve naman. And then, just to add on the application, there's also a part there on their application where they do the ID verification. So, instead of like getting your biometrics face-to-face, what they did is like, you just have to face the camera, your phone camera, in front of you, and then they just do the ID checks. So, basically, everything...
it's really you.
Yeah, so everything there is, you just have to literally do everything on the app. And then, after that,
so once you've submitted and you don't need to submit everything in one go though. It's same, like na,
pwede mo balik-balikan, unless you hit submit.
Yeah,
you
there's
can
no turning back.
Yeah, you can still, go back through everything if you want to. Kung mabusisi ka talaga, just to double check. You can always go back to your, to the app, hanggat hindi mo nasasubmit or nakiklik yung submit button.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't worry na dapat pag once I've accessed it, I should upload everything all at once. No, you can always go back to the app and hanggat di mo siya nasasubmit, okay?
Yeah, and once you finish everything, once you've clicked that submit, so it's the waiting game. So once you want to add it?
No, I think that's
so once you've submitted everything, the documents, and once you click the submit, it's just a waiting game. So in our case, they didn't ask for further information or any additional documents. But in that time frame na process nila yung application mo, they might ask you for additional documents or like clarification about the details that you've submitted. So in our case, we didn't have any, but one of our friends, they've asked for some additional documents or like clarification. So luckily, they didn't ask in our case.
Yeah. So I think as long as you meet all the requirements that is needed, I don't think there's gonna be any problem with your application. But syempre nakaka-paranoid pa din kasi we don't know, di ba? Pero in most cases, like me and my other friends, na wala naman naging problem sa application nila. Isa lang yung alam natin nagka-problem.
But it's not her fault.
It's not her fault. I think it depends on who your assessor will be.
Yeah.
So I think there's always like someone who is assigned to assess your documents. And I think it's a case-to-case basis on who's checking your documents. Kung masyado silang mabusisi or like if they don't go through your documents like thoroughly, they might miss something. So I think in our friend's case, that's what happened to her. Like, kasi pare-pareho naman kami, like we had pretty much the same timeline, and yet they asked her for more information. But anyway, in the end, all is well. Na-approve din yung British citizenship niya. So it's just a case-to-case basis, but most of the time they don't normally ask for more information. And even if they do ask for clarification, they give you a chance to they will ask you what kind of specific information would they need and where you have to send those information. So anyway, so that's it for our vlog. We hope that it's helpful and hopefully
Informative.
Informative. If you have any questions, you can just comment on the comment section below. So that's it really. Good luck with your British citizenship application, and see you on the next vlog.
Babu.
Bye!
Babu.
Babu!
Klein yun.